Welcome back, everybody. You're with KestCast. It really deleted my saves.
Hi again, teacher. Glad to see you didn't run away from us, ha ha ha.
Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but at least I keep my word. Is the classroom on an angle?
Yes.
Alright. Well, I'm back at the literature club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. Oh yeah. Thanks for keeping your promise, teacher. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you. Making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it? Oh god.
Oh, come on, like he deserves any slack. You already had to be dragged here by Monica. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what, but if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it.
Yep. Monica, you're in front of the thing. Okay. Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monica and manga.
Manga is literature.
Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into her seat.
Everyone
sorry.
is intensely close.
Yeah, because it zoomed in and rotated.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, teacher. We'll make sure to point out your comfort first, okay? Put your comfort first. Yuri shoots Natsuki with a disappointed glance. Anyway, glass.
This is my disappointed glass.
Throws it at her face. Now that you're in the club and all, perhaps you might have an interest in picking up a book to read? Well, I can't really say no either way. Like you said, I'm in this club now, so it only feels right for me to do something like that if you ask. Wait, I didn't mean it like that. If you don't really want to, then forget I said anything, I guess. No, it's not that, Yuri. I want to try and be a part of this club. So even if I don't read often, I'd be happy to pick up a book if you wanted me to. Are you sure? I just felt like, well, as vice president and all, that I should help you get started on something you might like. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention even if you don't usually read. And we could, discuss it if you wanted. This is... How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book that she thinks I'll like, despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you, I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book. Phew. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Oh, it switched back. Now that everything's settled in, I expected Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. I'm really curious about to talk to Yuri a little bit more, but at the same time, I would feel bad for distracting her from reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. It looks like the same book that she's lent to me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. Crap. I think she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me, and our eyes meet for a split second. But that only makes her hide her face deeper in her books. Sorry. I was just spacing out. I muttered this, sensing I made her uncomfortable. Oh, it's fine. I was just focused and I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. But you did. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so... That's the book that you gave me, right?
What's going on with her eye?
Didn't even notice.
You okay, Yuri?
She's not my type anymore. It's so weird. I wanted to reread some of it. Not for a particular reason. Just curious, how come you have two copies of the same book? Well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday... that's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy two of them. I see. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decided to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon. I'm glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's very engaging and engaging and relatable story. Is that so? What's the story about anyway? Well, I look at the cover of the book. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous looking eye symbol on the front cover. Basically, it's about a religious camp that was turned into a human experiment prison. And the people trapped there have this trait that turns them into killing machines that lust for blood. But the facility gets even worse, and they start selectively breeding people by cutting off limbs and affixing them to... Oh, that might be a little bit of a spoiler. She didn't say that last time.
No.
But anyway, I'm really into it. The book, I mean. Not about the thing about limbs. That's kind of... This bitch is fucked up. That's kind of dark, isn't it? You really made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so that dark turn came from nowhere. Are you not a fan of this sort of thing, teacher? No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy those kinds of stories, so don't worry. I hope so. Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri is into those things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. It's just that this kind of story... It's the kind that challenges to look at life from a strange new perspective. When horrible things happen not just because someone wants to be evil, but because the world's full of horrible people and we're all worthless anyway.
Okay.
Then suddenly... I'm rambling, aren't I? What just happened? Not again. I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. I haven't lost interest or anything. Well, I guess it's alright then. But I feel like I should let you know I have this problem. When I let things like books and writings fill my thoughts, I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. So I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. And please stop me if I start talking too much. I really don't think you need to worry.
You're talking too much.
That just means you're passionate about reading and talking too much. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club after all. That's true. In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right? Yes. I mean, you don't have to, but... what are you saying? Let me just get started on the book. I quickly retrieved the book that I had put into my bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's. Yeah. Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is, reading in company with someone. I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. Alright. I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not particularly bad or anything. Maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri is in the corner of my eye. Realizing that she's not actually looking at her own book, I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead. Sorry. I was just... What? It doesn't have it in the history. You really apologize a lot, don't you? I do? I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean... Here, this should work, right? I slide my desk up until it's up against Yuri's. Then I hold my book more between the two of them. I suppose so. Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess that makes that kind of difficult to turn the page. Here. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. I do the same with my right arm on the right side of the book. That way I turn a page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer together than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face, and she's in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? Yeah? To turn the page. Oh, sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again, and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her. That's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. God damn it, bitch. In 2 lifetimes you've done this to me. It's probably the least I can do. Since you've been so patient with me. Yeah. Thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she's finished the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Hey, Yuri. This might sound a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds you of you a little bit. Huh? No, I don't relate to this character at all. Definitely not. Really? I was just thinking the way she second guesses things she says and all that. That's what you were talking about, not the murdering part.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Not the chopping up and the cutting of the limbs.
I thought you meant something else about her. Something else? Never mind. We didn't even get that far yet, so I don't know why that came into my head. Yuri, are you feeling alright? Yeah? Yuri's been a little fidgety ever since we started reading. You can rest if you're feeling sick or something. Your breathing is a little... Am I breathing? Yuri puts her hand on her chest as to feel her heartbeat. I didn't even notice. Anyway, I'm fine. I just need some water. Alright, don't push yourself. Yuri stands up and practically rushes out of the classroom. What on earth was that about?
Teacher? Did something happen just now?
Yeah. I have no idea. Yuri was acting a little strange, I guess.
So you don't know anything?
Sorry, I can't say I do. Are you worried about her?
Oh, no, not really. I was just making sure that you didn't do anything to her.
No, nothing.
Hahaha, don't worry. I believe you, silly. Yuri just does this sometimes, so it's nothing alarming.
Alright, if you say so.
Anyway, why don't we start with the sharing our poems with each other?
I don't want to.
Yeah, let's do it, yeah.
Shouldn't we wait for Yuri?
Well, she might be a while, so I figured we'd get started without her. Is that okay?
Yeah, I was just asking. I stand up. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book, then slip it back into my bag. I should start with Monica. Yesterday she seemed eager to read my poem, and I want her to know I'm putting in effort.
Hi, teacher. Having a good time so far?
Yeah.
Good, glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay?
Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm not much better off just going through the flow until I'm more settled in.
Anyway, want to share your poem with me?
Nope. It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to.
Nahahaha. Don't worry, teacher. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know? But it's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon.
Yeah, that's true. I hand Monica my poem.
Great job, teacher. I was going, oh, in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something too deep. I guess I underestimated you.
It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way it's always counts when I put some effort.
Haha, that's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right?
Yeah, well, she fucked off.
Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism? Sometimes I feel like Yuri's mind is just totally detached from reality. I don't mean that like it's a bad thing though. But sometimes I get the impression that she's totally given up on people. She spends so much time in her own head that it's probably a much more interesting place for her. But that's why she gets so happy when you treat her with a lot of kindness. I don't think she's used to being indulged like that. She must be really starved for social interaction, so don't blame her for coming on a little strongly. Like earlier, I think she gets too stimulated, so she ends up withdrawing and looking for alone time.
Suddenly the door opens.
Yuri!
I'm back. Did I miss anything?
Not really.
Damn it, that was you. I stuffed up this time.
We all started sharing our poems with each other.
Yeah? Already? I'm sorry for being late.
No need to apologize.
No, I'm sorry. I double clicked. Alright. Oh, here's the history.
We still have plenty of time, so I'm more glad that you took all the time you needed.
Alright. Thanks, Monica. I suppose I should get to my poem now. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now?
Don't worry, I'm not very good.
You sound pretty confident with someone who claims to not be very good.
Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know?
I see. Well, let's read it then. Do we have to read these again?
Is this a different one?
Hole in the Wall. I'm pretty sure it was the same.
I don't know about that.
Alright, read it.
But he wasn't looking at me. Confused, I frantically glanced at my surroundings. But my burned eyes can no longer see color. Are there others in the room? Are they talking? Or are they simply poems on flat sheets of paper? The sound of frantic scrolling playing tricks on my ears. The room begins to crinkle? Closing in on me, the air I breathe dissipates before it reaches my lungs. I panic. There must be a way out. It's right there. He's right there. Swallowing my fears, I brandish my pen. Yeah, that's different.
Yeah. So
what do you think?
It's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback.
Haha, it's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful.
What was the inspiration behind this one?
Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit.
An epiphany?
Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on the paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening.
Alright. Next time on KestCast, we'll do this.